The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.
I just want to recognize a couple things about Frank. He's a man of incredible integrity, an incredible family man, person that we could tell has great process and a great way of doing things. That basically has, a guy that basically checks all the boxes, and a guy that you really want to basically help build a culture and help lead a team.
For us as a family, this place has always been special.
Looks good. I like the color.
To the end zone. Reich to Metzelaars, the first touchdown in Carolina Panthers franchise history.
Everything we do is explosive. Everything we do is explosive.
Bird who throws caught. Foles touchdown. How do you figure?
We won the Super Bowl! No!
Frank Reich authored two of the greatest comebacks in football history, one in college, Maryland, one with the Buffalo Bills against the then Houston Oilers.
All day long. All day long. All day long. Let's go. Keep bringing the energy. Keep bringing the energy.
That's what we're talking about! That's the way to go!
And we got your back today, though.
I appreciate that. I got your back, man. I got your back.
Frank Reich, the former Indianapolis head coach, being welcomed across the Queen City. Truly a new era and a new beginning for the black and blue and their fans.
To think that we're here now and having the opportunity to be the head coach of the Panthers, tremendous privilege, honor, responsibility. Just excited, ready to get to work.
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside a special edition of the Panthers Huddle, powered by AWS. I'm your host, Kristen Balboni. You just saw Panthers owner David Tepper giving his thoughts on newly hired head coach Frank Reich. Coach Reich has deep ties to the organization and to the Carolinas as well. Not only was he the first quarterback in Panthers history, he and his family called Charlotte home after his playing days were over, and his three daughters grew up and went to high school here in town. Earlier this week, the Panthers held an introductory press conference for the new coach, and he had the opportunity to address the media and the fans for the first time.
Well, just want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you to Mr. Tepper and Nicole Tepper for just an incredible opportunity to come back home, to lead a team and a franchise in which we were here at the beginnings, but to take on new challenges and to take us to new heights. As I went through the interview process, that's what I heard very clearly from Mr. Tepper. That's the standard. That's what we're reaching for. Nothing but the best. Let's be excellent. Let's have a consistency of excellence in everything that we do to create a championship caliber team and a championship caliber organization. The difference between winning and losing, it's in the margins. It's in the details. It's one player at a time. It's one play at a time. It's one detail at a time. It's about focusing on getting it right. Not who is right, not being right. We're going to get it right together. It's not a one-man show. It's going to be about the team. The team, the team, the team. We will celebrate. We got great individual players. They'll hit many individual milestones and goals, and we'll celebrate all those. But the team always comes first. That's what we're going to be about. We're going to bring a brand of football and a style of football that this city can be proud of. It's going to be exciting in all three phases. It's going to be innovative, it's going to be creative, we will always be working to get better, and then we're going to do it the right way, on and off the field. We want to make you proud.
Coming up on the Huddle, we join Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee Derek Brown back in his hometown as he changes lives with college scholarships.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers. Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, helping you enjoy the sights and sounds of the NFL all season long.
To welcome you back to Carolina, we were able to dig up some memorabilia from the 1995 season, which you were the starting quarterback for the first game ever in Panthers history. So we're gonna take a little walk down memory lane, and we are starting with this spotting board from the very first game from Bill Rosinski, the play-by-play announcer at the time, and there you are, right there.
Yeah, this is, we played in Atlanta, the very first game, went to overtime. I remember with the first 2 drives, we went down through a touchdown pass to Pete Metzler's right there, an old teammate, played with him in Buffalo as well.
The first touchdown in Carolina Panthers franchise history.
Willie Green, I threw a touchdown pass to Willie Green. You know, Willie Green was such a good receiver. I'm looking at these names. These guys are all coached. Don Beebe, he's coaching football. Emerson Martin coaching football. It's pretty cool.
With the culmination of the NFL season almost upon us, all eyes will, of course, be on the Super Bowl. But before the big game, the league will hold its NFL Honors event, where everything from league MVP to celebration of the year will be announced. But the most prestigious award is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And this year's nominee for the Panthers was defensive tackle Derrick Brown. Take a look as we travel back to Derrick's hometown to witness his generosity and the lives he's touched with his college scholarships.
This year right here, Derrick was in 9th grade. He realized that he had a talent and he was going to be able to use his talent to get him out of the situation that he was in, to use this as a stepping stone in life. Just remember, just like it was yesterday.
This community is rallied around Derrick.
Got to sit down and read each one.
That's a big deal with us. Family is all we got.
There was always a light on him.
That started the fire to me realizing that I can accomplish my dreams.
Seeing what Derrick had achieved definitely makes me believe that big things are within my reach.
That's awesome. No, I won't choke up.
He really cares about his community. He also cares about his people.
Every blessing, you got to be able to give back.
It was never about being bigger than anything. It was about being part of it.
There's other kids out there just like you were that's looking up to you.
Our Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, Derrick Brown.
And you don't even know the kind of impact that you can make on their lives.
So I grew up in Sugar Hill, Georgia, and it's a small community, but at the same time, it's so big.
This community, the Sugar Hill community, is pretty special. It means something to people to be from here, and we've always talked about to be proud of who you are and where you're from. And Derrick does that.
There was always a light on him. Maybe it's because he grew tall very fast, but the community really wrapped themselves around him.
It's a large but small community. When Derrick comes in town, oh my goodness, that's Derrick Brown. And I'm sitting there looking at these people like, he just Derrick.
I always say it like this, being humble at the highest, because I can think back to so many times in my life where, people were helping us out when we didn't have and, giving me opportunities that, I may not have had.
And now it's an opportunity for him to really give back to all the people that have done so much for him and his family.
I'm Riley Bryan. I'm a freshman at Piedmont University. I play basketball here, and I'm from Sugar Hill, Georgia.
My name is Aaron Lackey. I'm from Sugar Hill, Georgia. I go to college at Kennesaw State University. It was all about kind of being close to home, but not at home. I feel like Kennesaw State was the right choice.
Piedmont offered me a spot on their team. Well, I was really excited to have the opportunity, but it was stressful because it's like, I'm about to make this big decision.
I mean, there was some stress, the academics, what does the college have to offer, financials.
My mom is a single mother, so it was really important for me to find as many opportunities as I could to get a little extra help with tuition, especially going to a private school.
When we started coming up with this idea for the scholarship, I've always thought like, this is something I want to do. I've been financially blessed being in this position. Every blessing, you got to be able to give back. So to be able to give out that scholarship last year, that was special.
I believe they made an announcement that he was giving out a scholarship and thinking that was really cool.
I was honestly scared by it because I just assumed some people were going to try it. I think it's the Derrick Brown factor. I mean, just at Lanier, everybody knows Derrick Brown.
That's Derrick. Derrick's giving out a scholarship, and my mom was like, you have to apply. You have to.
When those applications were submitted, I got to sit down and read each one. And I mean, looked at everybody's GPA, the parents, I sat in bed with my wife and, was reading them out loud and just, that's how we were going about it.
It entailed an essay. The one that I chose was something about how your education was important to you.
You want to find out more about them, who do they look up to, why, what's the reason behind it. So, this is the first time I probably sat down and, read school papers in a long time, but, I want to know why. That's the big deal.
It's not a rubber stamp thing. And the fact that he'd sit down and read all those essays, I think that just kind of shows you that that's who he is.
That was not on the paper to say he would be reading our essays at all. To know that he read it and chose me is amazing, actually. I am really surprised to hear that Derek read my essay, because it actually made my day.
It definitely gives me a sense of self-assurance, knowing that my hard work is recognized and it's paying off. It's also been something that keeps me motivated because I know I'm here for a reason and I know that people are supporting me, so it'll keep my head straight.
You have to give back in order to receive, but you don't give to receive. A lot of people are looking for something in exchange. And Derek is only looking for a smiling face and a happy kid.
Hey, this is Coach Frank Reich, and this is This or That. Dinner all the way. I mean, chicken's the go-to, but a good piece of salmon, you can never beat a great piece of salmon. Drums. That's a tough one, but I got to go with tots.
Are you gonna eat your tots?
Rap. It has to be rap. My daughter's a rapper. I'm a coach. It's got to be binge watch. Night game. Nothing like a night game. Suit and tie.
So Derek showed up to our senior award night. Nobody knew, showed up and announced his 9 recipients of this first scholarship.
I mean, I had OTAs on Wednesday and I was driving to Atlanta Wednesday night and back here Thursday morning for work. So, it was one of those type of deals that, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be present and give out that scholarship.
It was funny because he showed up here and, we're in the middle of spring practice at that time. So he just walked into the field house and we're like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm handing out these scholarships. I'm like, oh, that's cool,
How the night went is we got a note card saying what we will be announced for. That was the only award that was unannounced. It was an actual surprise.
We have 9 recipients this year. Riley Bryan.
Just hearing him call out my name was pretty cool. I didn't know that I would be picked necessarily, so it was kind of like, oh, that's me.
The goal was to get there, but figure out how to get there. 85 isn't the clearest path to get down to Atlanta, and we got there right as the ceremony was about to start. It was a quick decision, quick turnaround, but I couldn't have won it any other way.
He was genuinely excited to do it. I've known Derek for a long time. You can tell he was this is kind of a cool moment.
To actually be a blessing and see that the eyes of these kids lights up when they see him is a great feeling as a parent.
What Derek does, we understand is a lot. He's pretty much like a movie star in our community, and for him to show up that night when he told us he had practice the next day was amazing. So it meant a lot to us.
It was cool to see how much he cared about it.
Receiving this Derek Brown scholarship has been such a great blessing. It's afforded us the opportunity for Riley to go to a private school, to live out her dream, and just to feel supported every step of the way.
It's not surprising that he gives so much because this kid has a big heart. Derek has a big heart. And he just wants to help people that he know that deserves it.
Does it surprise you to hear that Derek Brown is the Carolina Panthers 2022 nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award?
Oh, wow. About to cry. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh my God, I'm sitting up here crying.
Oh, that's really cool. Sorry, hold on, give me a second.
That's awesome. No, I won't choke up. That's great. That's great.
What? I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy. It's like, I mean, I honestly watch the NFL Honors like every year. It's actually kind of eye-opening to always watch, you know, who's the Walter Payton Man of the Year, you know, as they're always giving back in their community. Just to hear Derek's one of the 32 people that's chosen is incredible and amazing.
Oh, your arm you can throw really far? Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna have to test that out.
He represents everything that I personally believe. And he's humble in his approach to everything he does.
All right, you my new favorite player. I don't know nothing about football, but you my new favorite player, okay? It didn't start on draft night. It started when we lived in Sugar Hill in this little apartment.
I definitely want to be the inspiration. I'm definitely not the blueprint. I want to show that this can be done, whether it be sports or high academic praise. Hopefully in the future, you know, it's done by a lot more kids. That's what it's all about, in my opinion.
It definitely makes me really proud to know him through all his successes and knowing that it's not so far out of reach. Big, great things can happen to people that come from little towns like Sugar Hill.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Welcome back to the Huddle. I am here with the one and only Thomas Davis. TD, it is great to see you. Of course, we've been talking all show long about the Panthers hiring Frank Reich as their new head coach. So as a player, when you have a new head coach, what does that look like for you during the offseason?
You know, during the offseason, once you know that you have a new head coach, you know that there are going to be a lot of changes. You understand that there are a lot of new scheme things that you're going to have to learn. Defensively is going to look different. You know the coaching staff is going to look different. So you got to understand, like, hey, I got to be at my best at all times, because not only am I having to learn new things, I got to show these coaches that I deserve to be here. So that's another thing that players have to really understand and buy into right now.
Well, you mentioned learning new schemes. Certainly we're going to learn a lot about Frank Reich and what he likes to do with his team. So we have a little special edition of TD's Film Room. We're going to break down some of Frank Reich's best plays as a player and as a coach. And of course, the Panthers fans watching know where we are going to start. So we're going to start with the first touchdown in Panthers history. We have the footage from 1995. Of course, Frank Reich, the quarterback for that game. You're already smiling, TD.
Coach Reich, I didn't even know they had film way back then when you played it. But listen, this was a phenomenal start to the tenure of the Carolina Panthers. I would say that, you know, having Frank Reich at quarterback and now having him back, you know, as the head coach is going to be something that should be special for this team. First touchdown pass in team history. It's a beautiful one. Look at that spiral, man.
Yeah, Pete Metzlar's catching it there. We were talking about those pads. Look at how giant they are.
Look how not only look at the pads, look at the helmet though. Just look at the design of the helmets. It's way different. It just shows you how much the game has changed since 1995 until now, KB.
Now we are going to transition into some coaching plays. Of course, every NFL fan knows the famous Philly special. Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles in this Super Bowl. So TD, take us through this.
You know, this is a play I think that absolutely changed this Super Bowl, right? When you look at what they were able to do and Frank Reich and Doug Peterson coming up with this play call, we had never seen it before. Now it seemed like in college football, it's a fixture in everybody's playbook now because it's such a dynamic play. There's so many different things that you can do. Nobody knew that Nick Foles was going to be going out into the flats on this play, but listen, there was a great play call. As a defender, when you get a guy coming back around the edge, you're thinking, oh, I got to get up and I got to go make this tackle. You're not thinking that Nick Foles is going to be the one catching this touchdown.
In Frank Reich's press conference, he talked about what he wants to do here with the Panthers. TD talked a lot about this offensive line that the Panthers have and running the ball. And so we have got some footage from his tenure as head coach of the Colts. Certainly what Jonathan Taylor was able to do. This is from the 2021 season. What do you like about this?
This is what I'm most excited about because I know how this team is built. I know that our offensive line, they are absolutely built to maul people. We've seen it done. We know that they can get it done. And we know if we are able to get the running back situation taken care of and bringing Dante Foreman back, he can do things like we're going to get ready to watch Jonathan Taylor do right here. 80-yard run. This was something that Frank Reich came up with. This is really who he is as a coach. And I think that he loves the tough physicality part of the game. And that's why he's going to fit in perfect right here in Carolina.
TD, certainly a lot to be excited about as the Panthers turn the page into the 2023 season with Frank Reich at the helm. And I just want to thank you so much, not just for today, but for being here and giving us all of your insight all season long. We really, really appreciate it.
No problem, KB. It's been exciting. I look forward to seeing the continued growth from the football team and these players. I love what we have going on right now. I know that the season didn't end the way that we wanted it to end, but I saw a lot of growth from this football team, and that's what you can take into next season, knowing that we got a team that's excited, they're ready to go, they're eager. Now we got a new head coach that hopefully leads us into the right direction.
A lot to look forward to there. All right, we will not be back with you on the Huddle until around draft time, but be sure to check out Panthers.com for any news and updates on the team. And before we go, I just want to say a special thank you to our producer and fearless leader, Brandon Sweat. Brandon, thank you for all you have done for the Huddle over the years. It is such an honor to get to work with you. And on behalf of the one and only Thomas Davis, our new head coach, Frank Reich, and our entire Huddle crew, thank you to all of you at home for watching and for joining us all season long. We'll see you next time right here inside the Panthers Huddle.
And remember, keep pounding.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.